Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we've got something that should be quite interesting and a little bit different. So we're going to do my first review from Basqueland Brewing project. These guys are from Donostia, as it's known in Basque, and San Sebastian, as it's known in Spanish. And this is their IPA. It's called Imparable. It comes in at 6.8% and it's rated 96 overall on Rate Beer. So it should be a really quite nice one. And I don't get to review too many Spanish or Portuguese or Catalonian or Basque beers on the channel, so it's always cool to try something like this that really is quite new. I do need to actually go down and visit Spain and Portugal and try and get more of these different beers, but I hope you guys watching in the Basque country enjoy my review of this one. And nonetheless, this is supposed to be a really quite good up and coming brewery. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that hopefully I can do from Basqueland Brewing. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Spanish beers that I've reviewed for you before, and that will be added to over the next little while. But as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries you guys would like to see me review, especially if you're watching in the Basque country or Catalonia or wherever else in Spain. I'd love to learn more about the craft beer scene there, so do get in touch, and it's always great to hear from you guys. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Basqueland Brewing Project then. So Basqueland Brewing Project were founded back in 2014 and they're based in Donostia in the Basque country in northern Spain. The town, of course, is known as San Sebastian in Spanish, and it's only about 20 kilometres from the French border. It's actually a very picturesque and really pretty looking town if you stick it into Google and have a look at the photographs of it. But this brewery was actually founded by 3 Americans. So there's Kevin Patricio, who's the CEO, there's Benjamin Rotzi, just known as Rotzi of course, through as his nickname of course, but he's the sales and distribution director for the company, and there's also Benjamin Matz, who's the head brewer, and he does have a really good pedigree. So Ben's father actually been a drinker of world beers back in the early days of the craft beer movement in America, and so Ben actually became really curious about the wide scope and why some beers were dark and sweet and why others were really quite bitter and hoppy. And he actually was born and raised in San Diego, and at the age of 17 he went into a local home brewing shop and made some beer. He says it wasn't very good, but that had him hooked on the idea of brewing for life. But after working for Stone Brewing and also for Pizza Port Brewing in San Francisco, Rotzi actually asked him to move out to Donostia or San Sebastian and help him establish a brewery there. And Kevin, Ben's friend, and as I mentioned, a chef and restaurateur, was really anxious to introduce some American style beer into the region there in Basqueland. Basqueland, of course, is probably, it's better known for its kind of food and its wine, of course. It's meant to be really, really good wine country actually. I do need to get out there and check it for myself at some point. The north of Spain is supposed to be really nice. But this brewery started off as a gypsy brewery, brewing small batches of about 3,000 to 5,000 litres of beer, but they hope to establish their own brewery sometime in or somewhere in San Sebastian over the next little while. And like I said, Basque country is really more known for its wine and for its food and things like that than it is for their beer. But these guys do have some reputation. They really are doing quite well, and I actually bought this beer over in Denmark, so it was really cool to find something from this region. It's always cool to try things from new places. They do have a few different beers, so they have the Alvin, which I think was an Imperial Stout, also the Coastal Lady, which was another Imperial Stout, the Oatmeal Stout, they have this guy here, the Imparable IPA, the Aran, which is an Amber Ale, the Alpa, which is a Pale Ale, Captain Norbert's Kolsch, and also the Equinox Wheat Ale as well. So they do have a small inventory at the moment. They're always striving to add to it, of course, but their beers are very highly rated if you check them out on Rate Beer. So if you get the chance to try some of these beers, they are relatively new and from a place that you normally wouldn't think you'd find beer, so give them a go and see what you think. But yeah, that's enough about the brewery just now. We'll get on to the tasting section of this video. So as I say, if you want to learn more about the brewery, go and have a look at the link to their website and their Facebook and stuff in the description below. So yeah, I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork of this one before we open it up. And you can see it's quite nicely presented, this one. I do like the kind of the green and gold on that. It's actually quite cool. It's almost like a kind of Warner Brothers or Superman logo that's on this one. It says on the side here, Imparable, Unstoppable. Good, yeah, I'm not sure actually if some of that's Spanish or English. It's a little bit hard to read. Maybe I'm just going blind, of course. But it's a plain bottle cap on this one. Like I said, a 6.8% IPA. Best before the 10th or the 17th of September 2017 or September 2017. I think it's saying on the bottle there, but really nicely presented. Tells you all the things that you should follow: Facebook, Twitter, and all of these sorts of things, but it looks really quite nice. So yeah, we'll get this guy out then and get on with the tasting. Definitely looking forward to trying this beer for you guys, and like I say, it's always cool to try things from different places across the world. So yeah, do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries from Basque country that I should check out. But you can smell some of the nice light tropical fruits on this beer as it comes out. We'll just get all of it into the glass there, but as you can see, it's poured exactly as you would expect of an IPA. It's a really nice kind of bright yellowy orange amber. If I hold it up to the light, it is actually leaning more towards the yellow side of things. It has a little bit of orange in the middle, but mainly a nice kind of bright sort of yellowy colour, this one. A nice yellow, slightly orangey amber. There's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and this one quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there. But overall it does look really nice. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see there is a degree of transparency to this one, but it is quite opaque, and just when I'm kind of moving the beer around, you can smell a little bit of mango and sort of a little bit of apricot-y sort of thing going on. That makes me think there is some citra hop actually at play in here. So let's have a closer look at the aroma then and see how we get on. Oh yeah, I definitely think there's some citra in there. There's quite a bit of citra, because you're getting all these light kind of tropical fruity notes that you associate with that hop. You know, a little bit of the sort of mangoes, the sort of lychees kind of thing. You can smell a little bit of grapefruit just underneath that. You can smell a little bit of that more oily grapefruit. I don't think it's passion fruit. I think it definitely is more a kind of grapefruity note coming out of this one. When you sugar the beer up, you start to get a little bit more floral character out of it. So quite a kind of dark floral character to it, this one. There's a bit of lighter, sort of grassy, slightly floral hop in there as well. But it's quite a dark floral aromatic character that's coming out of this one. A little bit of lighter grassiness. And you can smell some of that sweet caramelly malt coming through from this one that you expect of a sort of West Coast style IPA. I mean, when the brewer Benjamin Matz has grown up in San Francisco, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a kind of standard West Coast type IPA. But it's got everything you'd expect. A little bit of biscuit, some caramel. Not quite sure, but there might even be a little bit of breadiness in there, of course. But some nice sort of citra fruits on this one. The lychees, a little bit of kind of apricot-y sort of thing going on. Quite a bit of mango, some grapefruit just underpinning it, and the dark kind of floral aromatic character. No pine raisins in this one, I don't think. It's not quite got the dark pine raisins coming out of the beer, but it really is quite a nice smelling one, this. So just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this beer before you get stuck into it. But yeah, we'll try this one now. So this one is the Imparable IPA from Basqueland Brewing project over in San Sebastian in the Basque country in Spain, or Donostia as it's called in Basque. Slanja. I think salute, as you would say in Spain, I'm not sure. But yeah, really nice beer, this one. That's good. Yeah, that is a pretty damn good beer. You know, I can see why it has the 96 rating that it has. And the thing that I'm noticing about this, actually, it does have a good bit of hoppy bitterness to it, but it's not overly big when it comes to the hops. It's got a slightly wetter mouthfeel, and I haven't tried enough. I've not tried all that many Spanish IPAs to really make a comment on whether that is to suit the Spanish palate. I mean, Spain, of course, very, very hot country generally. So I do wonder if the slightly wetter mouthfeel that this beer has is simply just to suit that kind of coastal lifestyle where you're going to have a lot of heat and a lot of humidity. But it really is nice. That's a good beer. If you get the chance to try this one, have a go at it. You know, on the basis of this, I definitely want to try their other beers, so I need to see if I can get a hold of them. But that's nice. So yeah, the malt base on this one is kind of what you'd expect. You've got a really sweet caramel that just blankets the middle of your tongue. You can feel a little bit of pale malt just underpinning that flavour in the beer, but there's a nice kind of sweet malty caramel in this one. Maybe a little bit of biscuit in there too, but for me, this one really is leaning more towards the kind of caramel side of things. It really is quite nicely done. That's good. Really is very nice, this one. So for me, the hoppy side of this is quite interesting. To me it comes across as more of a floral, sort of aromatic sort of thing. I'm not getting pine resins from this one, I don't think. Yeah, to me this one isn't too much of a pine resin beer. It's more floral. It's got quite a slightly spicy floral aromatic character to it. There maybe is a little bit of pine resin in there, but not too much. I think it leans more towards the floral side of things, and as the flavour progresses a little bit, you get a little bit of herbal character out it as well. But it's definitely a bit more kind of, it has a lot of that spicy floral character on the front sides of the tongue. It's really coming out there, but as you go around the front curve of your palate, it's definitely a bit lighter, and it's got more grassy flavour coming out of it there. It really is good though. Try this beer if you manage to get a hold of it. And the fruity side of the beer is nice as well. I think definitely from the taste of this one, there's citra in here. You can feel like a little bit, if you just go to that little oily bubble that comes out behind the front curve of your tongue, that's where all these nice juicy fruit esters come out. So you can feel a little bit of grapefruit just underpinning this beer. There's a lot of juicy mango in there for me. As the flavour progresses, I think you can get a little bit of the sort of lychees and other things that you can pick out from the citra hop. There's maybe a little bit of an orangey citrus character in this one as well. There's maybe a wee tiny bit of Amarillo in this beer or something like that as well. You can pick up a little bit of an almost orangey or sort of tangerine thing. Maybe it could be mosaic and it could be leaning more towards the tangerine side of thing. They didn't say, of course, what hops are actually in this one. And of course, if they don't say, it's always good to guess. It's always interesting to kind of guess what they've put into it based on the flavour. But if they have, you kind of know what to look for. But this one, it really is nice. It's got a nice balance with the fruit flavours. There's a good bit of mango in this one for me. The mango flavour kind of dominates, but you do get a little bit of grapefruit and some orangey citrus backing it up. And yeah, and then you get some of these lighter tropical fruit notes like the kind of lychees, not quite gooseberry. I think there's maybe even a little bit of peach or something in this one as well, but I think it's lychees and I think it's mainly mangoes in this one. The mangoes for me kind of linger as you move into the aftertaste of this beer, along with a little bit of orangey character. But the main point to take away from this one is it's really quite a good beer. This, if you get the chance to try it, you know, for me it deserves its rating of 96 that it has on Rate Beer. It's really drinkable. It's not going to blow your head in terms of hoppy bitterness, but it's just got a nice level of bitterness there that is, it makes the beer nice and drinkable. And I guess in Spain, as I say, when you're on that coastal climate and it's a really hot day, this is the kind of style of beer that you want. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one then, I'd say this is mid-bodied. It's got, the carbonation on this one is kind of moderate. It is maybe a little bit more than some of the other IPAs I've had. It does have a good little bit of it. It's got a nice oily mouthfeel. As I say, there's a good little bit of hoppy bitterness there, but not one that's going to blow your head in terms of IBUs, this beer. There's a lot of nice juicy fruity character there, and the malt base has a nice little bit of sweetness. But as you're more into the aftertaste, there's a little bit of that floral, slightly piney and herbal character just lingering there on your tongue, and a little bit of the sweetness from the malt lingering. The fruits kind of fade away as you progress later, further and further into that aftertaste, I should say. But overall, this beer really is quite nice. It's a good kind of easy drinking IPA, not too big in terms of the bitterness, but it's got a really nice blend of flavours. So if you get the chance to try this, I definitely would recommend that you do. It's cool to find beers that are this quality from from a different region in the world. I've seen quite a few countries actually. I mean, another brewery in Spain that springs to mind that was started by Americans was Edge Brewing over in Barcelona, and it's cool to see that the Americans are getting in there, and it's actually starting to kind of help the craft beer scene to take off in Spain. In Slovenia, there's an Australian guy went over there with one of the breweries, and in Japan, of course, there's Brian Baird at Baird Brewing Company, and it's cool to see that the craft beer scene is actually starting to push its way out of America and push it into countries in Europe that are more associated with wine and things like this. So really cool to see another brewery like this pop up in a different region of Spain, or I should say in the Basque country. I guess it's a very politically sensitive area that at the moment. But yeah, another really nice beer, and hopefully I can try some more beers from the Basque country there. This is really good, and hopefully there's some other Spanish brewers starting to pop up, or Basque brewers and things, in the next little while. So hopefully I can review more of those for you on the channel. The main point of this review is that this is a damn good beer. If you get the chance to try it, I highly recommend that you do. So until the next time, Slanger just now, thank you for watching my review of this one. If you get the chance to try some of the beers from Basqueland Brewing project on the basis of this one, I highly recommend that you do. This one's really nice. So until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out my social media. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have tried this beer, let me know your own thoughts on it in the comment section below, and do let me know what other Basqueland beers I should be trying and breweries that I should check out, and let me know the kind of wider Spanish things that I should check out too. So yeah, until the next time, Slanger just now, I hope you've enjoyed this one, but the Imparable IPA from Basqueland Brewing is pretty damn good. Cheers.